This mutation is called Train of the Dead, and it is being played on Oblivion Express. We have 3 mutators active. We have Darkness, we have Outbreak, and we have Walking Infested. So, let's have a look at the Masteries while the players get set up. We have Dehaka, who's gone for 3 points into Dehaka Devour Healing. Interestingly enough, no points allocated into this Mastery. Might be a small mistake, but I'm not really sure. And we have 3 points into the Gene Mutation Mastery here for Dehaka. Or this might actually be a meme build, so that might be why dual points were selected. Kerrigan has gone for 30 points into the Kerrigan attack damage, 30 points into the Vespene cost reduction, and 30 points into the fast evolution mastery over here. We have Kerrigan, who has sent an Overlord here to see what the enemy composition is. It is Shadow Disruption, and Overlord almost ends up dying. But Dehaka and Dehaka are showing you how to professionally do a rock slapping maneuver, as you can see over here. I do not advise you guys to rock slap on Oblivion Express or any other mission for the matter. These two guys are trained professionals and they are well aware of what they are doing to prevent getting injured by the power of such a difficult to execute maneuver. So this mutation, as you can see, is not that difficult to play, which is why these guys are rock slapping. Rock slapping is a really bad strategy in general, so it just shows you like these guys know what they're doing, and the mutation is not really too bad if you know how to handle the mutators that are there. Now, the one thing that is going to be a little bit more difficult to handle is the Outbreak Mutator. The Outbreak Mutator will start to spawn aberrations after the 20-minute mark on this mission, and because you cannot end this mission early, it means that you will have to deal with the aberrations in the later stages of the game. So ideally what you'd want to do during that time is put down some kind of static defense so that you can deal with the aberrations. Usually the static defense are put on the high ground here, and you can just shell them away. Now Darkness does make it a little bit more difficult to handle, but you can deal with it by putting some kind of vision around the map. So in this case, you have overlords, you can use observers to provide you just with a little bit of vision, and because Darkness is one of those things that do not reduce your line of sight, what you can commanders like Zeratul actually provide a lot of value for their allies, because you can put the observers and siege them up, and they have an insane vision range, so you can do that as an option as well. So these commanders will be having to deal with the first attack wave that'll be spawning in just a little bit, and one thing to note about the attack waves is that again they will not be present on the minimap. The attack wave ping markers will not be visible, the train ping markers will not be visible. You will get the sound notifications, so your commander will say that we're about to get attacked, or the enemy forces are on their way and stuff like that, but you will not see the ping marker, and you will need to know the attack wave pattern on this mission, and you will need to know the train pattern on this mission as well if you want to be reasonably effective at this game. But that information is all available at your #1 source of Starcraft 2 Co-op information, starcraft2coop.com, so that information is there on the Oblivion Express commander page. But I think most people do not really, they already have a natural instinct, as they kind of know where the next trains are going to be spawning, where the next attack waves are. And if you have played this mission a few times, I think you might not know it right now, but I think you already know the mission wave, like not the timings, but at least where the attack waves come from. And I would be very, very surprised if someone said they played this mission hundreds of times and still do not know, at least on an intuitive level, where the trains are going to be spawning. So do not underestimate your ability to actually know useless information about maps in general. But yeah. So Dehaka and Dehaka are just slapping away at the rocks right now, and we already have an Impaler out for our Dehaka player, and this Impaler will be doing a little bit of damage. Unfortunately, the Impaler has been spotted by an observer, and the Impaler does end up dying. We have primal igniters as well on the way, and a random Hydralisk here. These commanders are going to have to try and deal with this. Few Lings have been joining into the fray right now, and these igniters will be clearing out this first train. So there's an Impaler, there is an Igniter, and there's some more primal igniters and an Impaler as well over here. Kerrigan is just burrowed and not really doing anything because they are just going to be flexing on him. Like, you know what? I don't even need Kerrigan. I don't even need my hero units here. These guys are just going to be slapping away at the rocks. And Kerrigan is going to be building a few spine crawlers. So this is for the inevitable spawn of units that'll be. There will be a bunch of Infested that'll be coming up these rounds. There's a few Infested over here as well that have been spawned from the Protoss units. But you will get the random trickle of infested units spawning throughout the course of the mission. Over here, a few Zerglings nibbling away on the bottom of the screen, or on the edge of the screen, and we have some Impalers as well on the high ground here. And Impalers now have been moved into position, and they will be dealing the damage to the train. The train will end up going down as well. That one Zergling, somewhat confused, does not want to go and eat the train, but does end up doing so anyway. And now we have a lot of infested units that have been spawned, and they will end up getting cleared out a little bit by the Impalers. But there's an Observer here that is providing some vision for Amon's forces. Amon's forces are going to beat down this Impaler, and the Impalers will end up surviving, actually. That Observer has moved somewhere. I don't know where that Observer is going at the moment, but that is the first train done. There is still a wave of infested units that have spawned from the trains. Yes, the trains, when they die, will also spawn infested units. We have to be a little bit careful about that. Dehaka and Dehaka still chilling over here, not really doing anything. Kerrigan also chilling over here, not doing anything. And now the Zerglings are going to be jumping in, and they're going to be great for dealing with the next train. So yeah, all in all, seems to be okay. Upgrade-wise, Kerrigan has only gone for the new mutalisk carapace upgrade, and Dehaka has gone for the concentrated fire upgrade. So this is the reason why you have the spine crawlers. There will be random trickle of infested units that will be spawning throughout the course of the mission. You're going to want to be able to deal with that. Impalers have power, and they will start killing some of the train escorts here. And now the primarily Dyers have jumped in as well to try and deal a little bit more damage and deal with the infested units that will be spawning over here. They have to be, there's a little bit of a pullback. Mutalisks have now joined into the fray, and they will start attacking some more of these things here as well. So what do we have in production for our players? We have a few drones, we have some more primal roaches, and we also have one evolution chamber on the way as well. So like I said, this is probably not the most ideal enemy army composition to deal with the enemies, but this is what they want to do. They're going to be doing some memes here, and they're going to be showing reasonably how easily this mutation can be dealt with, even if you're doing really weird stuff, including rock slapping. So Impalers do get repositioned here, and they are now on the bottom of the ramp. And lots of infested units here, but these infested units will end up getting cleared out very effectively by the primal igniters. So the igniters get a lot of good value. Some more infested are running around here. Mutalisks also joining into the fray, and there are a few stalkers here that have actually aggroed some of these mutalisks. Mutalisks will get pulled back, and the rest of the attack wave now has actually joined into the fray as well. But the mutalisks will be able to jump in and clear out some of these stalkers, and they have to be a little bit careful. The mutalisks are a little bit more expensive than normal. I do miss the days when these mutalisks were actually broken. For those of you guys who were playing co-op a little bit longer, Blizzard made a buff to the Kerrigan mutalisks, and it basically became that the standard solution for pretty much any Kerrigan game is go mass mutalisks, because the mutalisks dealt an insane amount of damage. Eventually it was fixed, and it is now, the mutalisks they're alright, but before, the mutalisks used to be brokenly OP. Their glaive bounces were just insane. And a little bit of poking in for some of these mutalisks here. How many units were lost? We have one mutalisk lost, 13 lings, one impaler, 5 igniters, and now the rest of these units are going to be starting to clear out this next train here. Again, Kerrigan still chilling, not really needed in this mission. And Dehaka, where are these two guys? Yeah, these two guys are also chilling over here. They've basically used the Dehakas to rock slap, and that is basically it. And yeah, this train will also end up going down. There's a hybrid destroyer that has aggro one of these mutalisks. It will end up killing off one of those mutalisks, unfortunately, but this train will also be going down here. And over here, there's another impaler that seems to be getting repositioned. I'm not sure where the impaler is going right now, but this train will also end up going down. There's another hybrid destroyer here that will also end up getting killed off by the mutalisks. And they're just going to be parked on the high ground here. Lots of infested have spawned, but mutalisk glaive bounce now gets a lot of value because they end up killing off so many of these infested so quickly. Hybrids are a little bit more tricky to clear out, but Kerrigan is pretty much gone for the full complement of upgrades here for the... We have melee attacks research for the lings, I believe. And is there air attacks upgrade on the way? Yes, there is air attacks upgrade. There is... And there's also air armor upgrades research. You can use a little bit more tanky against some of the infested units that will be attacking them. And now Dehaka has also added some mutalisks into his mix. So it looks like it's going to be a mass mutalisk build here. None of these units will be able to fight back against the enemy composition, so that is going to be okay as well. So Yeah, this is going to be a mass mutalisk build on this mission, and really very minimal level for static defense. There is still 6 minutes left until the aberrations start to spawn from the Outbreak Mutator, so it's going to be a while before the mission really gets high octane, because once those aberrations spawn, I think a lot of people underestimate the amount of damage that these aberrations can put out, so do not underestimate them. If I can give one bit of advice about the Outbreak Mutators, do not underestimate the amount of damage out of the aberrations. So you need to be able to completely smash through the aberration spawns that are coming up. Next train wave has also spawned, and now we have an army of mutalisks over here. Nothing can really fight back against them. There are a few stalkers, a few sentries, but that's pretty much it. And these things will all get focused down by the mutalisks and glaive bounces. They're going to be absolutely insane here. Pretty much all the enemy units have been wiped out right now. Again, still no use of the hero units here for these commanders, and there's no even Doctrine's Den being built for Dehaka. They do not need it. And now there is another train here on the bottom rail that needs to also be addressed here. So these commanders are just going to clean up the wave of Infested that have started to spawn here. Stalkers have actually blinked right on top of the high ground, trying to catch those mutalisks out. But again, pretty much well handled. There is enough static defense here to deal with the Infested units that are going to be spawned from the train. And we have again a few more mutalisks over here as well. This train will end up going down, but we have 4 minutes left until the aberrations spawn, and there does not appear to be enough static defense to handle the aberrations here. You're going to need a lot more static defense here. If you are wondering like what kind of commander would be good if you're not trying to do a meme build, Swan works really well. His flaming Bettys are really nice when it comes to dealing with some Dark Templars. Ended up actually swiping away the Impale and killing it. Swan works really well. His flaming Bettys are really good for dealing with these Infested, and you can put siege tanks on the back line in the later stages of the game so that you can actually deal with the aberration. So Swan has a really nice complement of stuff. His laser drill can also be used to clear out the train escorts. So Swan is a really good pick here. And pretty much any commander with solid static defense would work well. Camarax might be okay if you're being a little bit careful about how you use your static defense and how you play the rest of the mission as well. Like going for immortals are going to be really important in helping your ally deal damage to the trains, and using some of your static defense to defend against the aberrations. Shield batteries and whatnot, the full complement should be really good. So yeah, mutalisks over here for Kerrigan, and we have 17 mutalisks for Dehaka. And what is Dehaka? Yeah, Dehaka Zuehaka have repositioned themselves now. They're examining this extractor, making sure that its annual maintenance is completed. And yeah, these commanders are just gonna pounce right on top of this attack wave and this escort wave, and they're gonna be able to clear out everything over here. Some more Phoenixes right now. These Phoenixes are dealing a little bit of damage to Dehaka's army, but all seems to be okay. And what do we have being researched? Yeah, we have level 3 Carapace upgrades as well. Dehaka has gone for the level 1 primal attacks. No other upgrades for Dehaka, no other attack upgrades for Dehaka units. We have Tenderize also completely being researched right now. And yeah, we have more Impalers coming out for Dehaka. So Dehaka is going to be using his Impalers to defend against the aberrations. Remember, there's 60 seconds left on the timer before these aberrations start to spawn. So Dehaka will need to try again. Unfortunately, Dehaka is losing a few of these things to the Dark Templars. These Spore Crawlers are a little bit too far behind, so I think Dehaka has lost, 7 Impalers from the random Dark Templars that have been harassing his base. 60 seconds left on the timer until those aberrations start to spawn. The Mutalisks are on the high ground right now, and they are ready to deal with this next spawn here. So there will be an attack wave. There are a few Stalkers leading the charge. The Stalkers will get picked off very quickly, and now the rest of the Mutalisks bounce right on top of those Disruptors. Disruptors do not know what to do. They cannot shoot up. And now the rest of this attack wave has been completely shredded by the army of Mutalisks over here. And now they have to get ready for the next train. So yeah, we have Impalers already ready on the high ground. This is pretty much it. There are a lot of Dark Templars over here, though. Those Dark Templars came from the attack wave, and they have killed off some more of the Impalers, which is somewhat unfortunate, because those Impalers could not fight back. Finally, now we have the detection that is much needed for these Impalers. So no more Impaler harassment here, and we have 4 Spine Crawlers here. I think the Spine Crawlers may not be enough to deal with the aberrations if the aberrations decide to push up into this high ground here. So that might be a little bit more difficult. We have Kerrigan now spraying some more creep, I believe. I think the reason for this is the creep. It might be because of the creep, or maybe just to get the extra larva. I'm not 100% sure why that is used. Maybe to get even a little bit of vision, but If Spooky's in chat, you can let me know why he put down this. There must be some reason. I'm assuming it is because of the creep to just heal up some more of Dehaka's units, but I'm not 100% certain about that. But this train goes down, and you can see the power of the army of mutalisks here. These mutalisks are moving around now, and where are they going to engage next? They are going to try and deal with the next train, I believe, that is active over here. And yeah, so you can wrap around here, and there's an attack right from the back with Dehaka's Mutalisk, him catching out all of the Phoenixes, when with the Slicing Glaive upgrade, he's getting a lot of good value for that. And then Kerrigan's Mutalisks on the front line, clearing out the ground units here, and this train will end up going down. You can see lots of Infested coming up from the train escort here, and we have some Impalers as well. These Impalers are going to be more than enough now to be able to deal with the Aberrations. And the Aberrations will be a while, so you might be wondering where the Aberrations are gone. The Aberrations will be a while. There we go. Those are the Aberrations. If you were wondering, there you go. Your question has been answered. The Aberrations will take some time to spawn. They start spawning at the 20-minute mark, and it kind of depends on which enemy structure they spawn from. So if they spawn from one of the enemy structures in the back or in the far corners of the map, it'll be a while before you start to see them. But you should expect to see them at around 22 minutes and 30 seconds. So that is roughly when you should be expecting to see the Aberrations start to harass you. And that is why you can actually get overwhelmed. But having the Impalers, more than enough to handle the Aberrations. Nothing is going to be able to walk up that high ground before dying pretty much instantly. And I think that was the second double train wave coming, so I think all that's left now is to deal with the final train wave of this mission, and this is going to be pretty much done. Mass Mutalist on this map, and yeah, no usage of these hero units. It's a fairly straightforward mutation if you know what you're doing, just provides a little bit of a challenge, but I think we need it. I think it's been a while since we had a nice simple mutation to go through, so I'm glad that we have Train of the Dead again, even though it's a repeat for I think the 4th time. It might be the 4th or 5th time it's been a repeat. It's usually the default one when the thing bugs. I think it's high time we got nice easy mutations, so we can actually level up our prestiges as well. Because I've been using the weekly mutation runs and getting carried in the weekly mutation runs so I could get my prestige leveling done on all the 3 servers. And yes, that is the final train wave done, and done without the help of the hero units, but a masked Mutalisk build here. But yes, all of the 9 trains are gone, and that is GG.